Some heroes are born, and others are created. But one thing that links the best of them all is the spark that burns hot and powerful in their hearts. Inspiration. Why do they clench their fists? Why do they fight? Why do they continue to stand even when all hope seems lost? Today, I'm going to share two figures that personify this moment beautifully. Here are two amazing figures of young Deku and Kacchan at an integral moment in their lives. They're incredible and worth every penny. Welcome to Running on Empty. I'll start with Kacchan. This is the Ichiban Kuji Boku no Hero Academia Futari no Akogare E-Prize by Bandai Spirits, retailing for about $58 USD. Kacchan is 11 centimeters tall and weighs 61 grams. I'll get the only weak point of this figure out of the way first, and that's the stand. It was a nightmare to place his shoes in it, and I was so scared that I would snap his legs off. So I think for this figure, once you have the stand in place, you're probably better off just leaving him that way and refraining from detaching him unless you absolutely need to. Apart from that, this is an awesome figure. Straight away, I love the face and expression here. This is an easy A+ for character accuracy. The determined grin paired with the angry eyebrows is peak Bakugo, and I adore it. This is a face that screams, hell yeah. You can feel the energy radiating from the entire figure, all thanks to that face. Bakugo, as we know, wants to be the best of the best, and I can sense that in this figure. This is a kid who is witnessing greatness and is overflowing with the desire to jump in and make himself known as well. Apart from the face, the hair and clothes sculpt are well executed, with the spikes in Kacchan's hair actually hurting in real life. And I feel like that kind of ties in with who Kacchan is as a character. He's rough around the edges, but otherwise still very likable. The paint job is flat, with hardly any shading, but still neatly done. The only bit of shadow and contrast that we do get is in his shorts. But that's fine, since the figure is brought to life by the excellence of the overall sculpt. I like the small bit of wrinkle detail on his shirt and shorts, which reflects his stationary pose. And I really love that he has no need for a base, but is still a very stable figure regardless. I also like that he's easy to find room for since he's got a small surface area and has no removable parts aside from that clear stand. This is a holy grail figure for me and an A+ all around. Okay, next is Deku. This is the Ichiban Kuji Boku no Hero Academia Futari no Akogare C-Prize by Bandai Spirits, which retails at about $47 USD. Now, Deku is a bit shorter than Kacchan at about 10.5 centimeters from shoes to hair, and is also lighter at about 57 grams. So in general, we know that Midoriya is a tad shorter than Kacchan, as we've seen in the show, and I quite like that they've sort of reflected that in these figures. I also feel like it's sort of symbolic that Deku at this point in his life weighs a little less than Kacchan in figure form. And maybe I'm reading a little too much into this, but as we know, Deku is quirkless here at this point. And in a world where having a quirk or not, or the type of quirk you do have can influence the way people treat you, I feel like it's sort of symbolic that in Deku being lighter than Kacchan, it's reflective of him being seen as having or being less than Kacchan by certain people around him, including Kacchan himself. And perhaps that wasn't the figure manufacturer's intent behind this, but to me it kind of speaks volumes of the weight of importance that quirks are given in this world, and how having no quirk can make you seem lesser than other people. And if Bandai really did put that much thought into these figures by making Deku lighter than Kacchan, I tip my hat off to them because that is amazing subtle storytelling. Like Kacchan, immediately I love Deku's expression here, and I give them an A+ for character accuracy. Deku here is in awe. The giant round eyes, the eyebrows almost disappearing into his hair, the open-mouthed beam. This is a face that screams, wow, in breathless wonder. And I think it's so cute how Deku, as a huge fan of All Might, is wearing his All Might merch and holding an All Might figurine. As for the All Might figurine in his hand, I quite like that it's well sculpted and neatly painted despite its small size. Like with Kacchan, there's an energy to Midoriya here. It's brimming within him, but radiates out in a much gentler way, all because of that awesome wide-eyed expression of his. Like with the last figure, Deku was really difficult to place in his footstand, but not as tough as Kacchan. And he's also very stable and easy to find room for because of the small surface area he takes up. Deku's hair sculpt is amazingly done. And I like that because Deku's hair is softer than Kacchan's, that's also reflected in the figure here. There are no sharp edges to his hair that could hurt you. I also love the great shading that they've given to Deku's hair, which adds an extra dimension to it. His clothes, face, and shoe sculpt are also well done, and I like the little minimal wrinkle detail which reflects his stationary pose. And apart from his hair, the only other shading on this figure is on his shorts. All in all, I see these as two of the most important figures of my MHA collection because of what they represent. This is what I see as the beginning of their hero journey, the spark. And when you put them together, it's amazing how their different personalities come across, despite their identical poses. And it's also really endearing and heartwarming for me when I see them on my shelf, because I see and feel the inspiration that they get from All Might. These are two amazing figures and worth every penny for all my fellow MHA fans out there.